Hello and welcome back to JVSCP. This week I was once again feeling a little cheeky, so I thought that we would take our first venture into JSCPs, not JVSCPs, mind you. JSCPs are, as far as I understand it, joke SCPs. The way that it works, if you don't know, is that there is a separate list of entries. So you have, the main list of all the normal SCPs. Then there's a separate list that is also just numbered, so, SCP-4396 or whatever, but then -J. All of these entries are meant to be a joke or written to be funny in one way or another, and I feel like a lot of them runs the risk of falling a little flat since you're kind of going into it knowing that it's supposed to be a joke. But at the same time, I also do truly believe that there are some good ones in there, either good in the sense that they're just funny or good that, just good, and that they technically basically could have been main entries if the author wanted them to be. But I'm no expert, and I guess we're about to find out. I have a feeling that this video is gonna be quite a ride, so enough blabbering from me, let's begin. SCP-500-J by JorgeMtz ZB from the SCP Wiki. Containment class: Safe. Disruption class: Dark. Risk class: Notice. Special containment procedures. SCP-500-J is to be stored in a standard containment locker at Site 18. Access to 500-J is restricted to Level 2 personnel and above. Description: SCP-500-J is a paper document of A4 size, measuring 210 by 297 millimeters and weighing 6 grams. Chemical analysis confirms its composition is consistent with standard paper production. SCP-500-J's anomalous properties manifest when individuals are exposed to a punchline printed on the surface of the document. The punchline occupies the majority of the document's area and is aligned centrally. When an individual observes 500-J, they experience a range of emotional responses, including annoyance and frustration. These reactions are often accompanied by audible sighs and expressions of exasperation. The exact cause of these emotional responses is currently unknown, and they appear to be immediate upon seeing the document, with the intensity of the reaction varying among individuals. Efforts to neutralize or mitigate the emotional response have thus far been unsuccessful. Testing log: SCP-500-J. Forward. All tests were identical, instructing the subjects to look at the contents of the document with no further instructions. None of the subjects were informed on the anomalous properties of the item. Quick interjection here. So it said all tests were identical, and in the, not last week's video, but I think the one before that, I made some comment about repeating scientific tests, and that it, I said something about it bothering me that they did the same tests several times, and several of you made me painfully aware that that's how science works, right? You do the same thing several times, and I know that, but I don't know if you know this. I'm an idiot. Test A.
Subject:
D345.
Results:
Subject stares at SCP-500-J, looks upwards to researcher Upkins and looks back down, emitting an audible sigh, then muttering, "You gotta be kidding me. Really?" Test B.
Subject:
D658.
Results:
Subject grabs the paper, then chuckles slightly while tapping it lightly with his right hand. While still grinning, he looks up at researcher Upkins before exclaiming, "This is terrible. I hate it in here." Test C.
Subject:
D273.
Results:
Subject squints at SCP-500-J, exhales sharply, then asks, "Why?" And now for, I guess, the big reveal. Because it says here that there's a photograph with a warning that says mild cognito hazard present. And I haven't seen it yet. I'm going in blind like I always do. So I'm gonna click it, and I guess this is everything that this article has built towards. Let's see. Digitally scanned image of the contents printed on SCP-500-J, which prominently shows the punchline. Fuck. Fuck. I didn't think it'd get me, but it did. That's very dumb. That's very, very dumb. I hate it in here. And I don't know if there's literally anything I can add to this one. SCP-314-J by weizhong from the SCP Wiki. Object class. Safe, but kind of an asshole. Special containment procedures. SCP-314-J is to be stored in a standard anomalous item containment locker. Researchers who are big babies, footnote, I'm looking at you, Kyle, are not to be allowed to conduct research with the item. Description. SCP-314-J is an anomalous mathematical textbook entitled Numerical Proofs That You Suck. Individuals who open the textbook are greeted with a blank page that begins to populate itself with a series of mathematical proofs, diagrams, flowcharts, bar charts, pie charts, and cake charts that culminate with a logically consistent rationale for why each individual is a terrible person. This invariably results in said individual not being able to be chill about this. Footnote 2. Seriously, Kyle. It's just a textbook. Experiment Log, SCP-314-J. The following is a log of various tests involving different personnel and SCP-314-J. Test 1.
Individual.
Researcher Zhang Wen.
Result.
SCP-314-J flipped open to a page with a hypothetical proof with unknown variables. When researcher Zhang finished working out the proof to confirm that the two compound matrices A and B were in fact identical, the book flipped open to the next page to reveal that A equals your mom and B dumber than a sack of bricks.
Notes.
My mom's dead, man. What the hell?
Test 2.
Individual.
Agent Stephen Adams.
Result.
When Agent Adams opened the book, a single-line proof by intimidation appeared. Quote, "The proof of why Agent Adams sucks is trivial and left as an exercise for beginning students." End quote.
Notes.
Quote,
Where the fuck do you get off, you little shit? Square up, I'm a puzzle.
end quote. Agent Stephen Adams to SCP-314-J, prior to being physically restrained and dragged out of the testing chamber. Test 3.
Individual.
Researcher James, age 11.
Result.
SCP-314-J opens to a random page showing the following equation. 1 + 1 equals... You're a little bitch. Took me by surprise, even though I read the sentence.
Notes.
Researcher James was officially consoled with a juice box and a promise to take him to McDonald's after work. Test 4.
Individual.
Junior Researcher Riemann.
Result.
SCP-314-J opened to a complex mathematical proof about sets or something. Junior Researcher Riemann was heard to exclaim, "Finally, something that appreciates my work." Following 3 weeks of work on the proof, Junior Researcher Riemann went into the testing chamber, only to run out 3 minutes later in tears.
Notes.
Junior Researcher Riemann officially reprimanded and told to grow up. Jesus, I thought you liked math shit. I'm guessing we are to assume that researcher Riemann was Kyle. That was referred to in the footnotes at the beginning of the article. Honestly, with this one, I kind of feel like if they just changed up some of the wording, like when it said that upon being presented with the information in the book, subjects can't be chill or whatever. If some of that stuff was just cleaned up a bit and made to sound a bit more sterile, this doesn't even have to be like a J entry, a joke entry, right? I kind of feel like this could have been a real one. A book that tells you whatever cuts the deepest on you specifically to make you feel like a little piece of shit. That's, you know, I don't think that's too far outside of the realm of what could be a main entry. I like it. Okay. SCP-6132-J by Dr. Cimmerian from the SCP Wiki. Object Class Safe.
By order of the Overseer Council, the following file is Level 1-6132-J classified. Unauthorized access is forbidden.
Special Containment Procedures. SCP-6132-J is to be kept in a standard containment locker on floor 12 of Site 88. Testing must be approved by the 6132-J project head. Description: SCP-6132-J is a set of Rand McNally maps with several unidentifiable areas. While landmasses appearing on these maps are identifiable, other geographical features are incapable of being named. Individuals viewing 6132-J are, however, capable of recognizing the type of geographical feature depicted. Viewers of 6132-J will often designate a feature as an ocean or a river while being unable to recall the location's proper name. 6132-J was originally discovered in 1976 along with a collection of geographical educational materials at Kirk Lawnwood High School. None of the materials recovered in 6132-J's immediate vicinity appears to possess similar properties. The entire collection can be accessed via permission from the 6131-J project head. And then now I get to click on a 6132-J test, it says. Oh, okay, good. It's not a test on me. It's an interview log. Not that I was worried, I'm very good at geography.
The following interview was performed by Dr. Actus during routine retesting of low-danger items.
Interviewer.
Dr. Actus.
Interviewed.
D-10013. Hello. Could you take a look at these maps for a moment?
Absolutely.
I have a few basic questions just to get a baseline for your knowledge.
Sounds good.
Dr. Actus points to the upper left of the map. Can you tell me which continent this is?
Yeah, that's North America.
Dr. Actus points at the upper middle section of the map. Great. And this one?
That's Europe. Is this seriously all I'm doing today?
Dr. Actus then points to the area between the previously described points.
Wait. What is that?
Can you describe this to me? There is a long pause.
I don't know.
Dr. Actus points to a different area on the far right of the map. Can you name this area?
No. I don't recognize the bodies of water.
Oh my god. Oh no, that's so dumb. And it's clickable. Does it lead to the... Yeah, it reads to 2316. I mean, I guess I should have fucking guessed it when the doctor's name was Dr. Actus. The final line is just all other tests have ended with similar results, and then the article ends. So if you're confused about what's going on here, there's an SCP entry, number 2316, that I would say is like one of the most popular and known ones that people always talk about. If you've ever heard the phrase, "you don't recognize the bodies in the water," that's from there, and it's written by an author named DJ Cactus. I think we've read a couple of Cactus, or Cacti, entries on the channel before, at least one. I think we talked about reading more of their less popular ones at some point. I don't think we ever got to that, but I guess this is like a sign from above that we need to cover 2316. I think that one's pretty long, so we might have to dedicate its own video to it, but it's also been covered so many times. Would you like to hear it? Let us know in the comments, and if enough people say yes, then we'll do a dedicated video to the bodies in the water thing. But yeah, this joke entry is essentially, it's like a pun. It's like a pun, it's like a parody or something. It took me so fucking long to get the point. I feel like I've been pranked. Let's move on. SCP-314-J by Stallmantic. From the SCP Wiki. Object Class: Not Safe for Work. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-V1L3J is locked beneath Site-75 in a vault 10 meters under the previous lowest point of Site-75. V1L3J is... okay, so I'm just gonna call it Vile. That's what it spells out, right? V1L3. Because god, that's annoying to say. V1L3J? Maybe it's gonna sound weird if I call it Vile. I'll just call it V1. We'll have to settle for V1, but just know that it's called V1L3J. V1 is to be guarded by at least 2 members of MTF-Eta-10, See No Evil, to ensure defense of faculty from the effects of V1. Testing has ceased on V1 due to a unanimous Ethics Council vote to prevent exposure. Description: SCP-V1 appears to be a standard slot machine adorned with pictures of various anomalies currently in Foundation containment, crudely drawn in a chibi style. Oh no, is that like the small little anime? Just gotta do a quick Google here. Chibi, yeah. Oh, there's a footnote. Footnote: an art style derived from the Japanese word shibiru, meaning to wear out or make shorter. The machine only has 3 spinning slot sections as opposed to the typical 5. The left and right slot contain names or designations for different anomalies or prominent Foundation personnel. The middle column only contains the letter X. SCP-V1's anomalous effects manifests when $50 is slid into the token slot and the lever on the right side of the box is pulled downwards. This will cause the slots to spin, and a presumably random figure in the Foundation will be selected on either side. V1 then enters a hibernation state, in which the machine cannot be interacted with and money is no longer accepted. After exactly 24 hours, a heavily folded paper or sheaf of papers emerges from the slot previously used to insert money, with handwritten words on the pages. The papers, now designated V1-1, contain writing relating to the 2 described entities being in a budding romantic relationship with each other. Of course. These stories contain classified Foundation locations, anomalies, and personnel. On the underside of the box is a note scrawled in pen.
Writing is hard, so have us do it for you. Here at Wondertainment, we understand the need for good old-fashioned romance to break up the monotony of stealing our toys. Millions of potential combinations to pique your fancy and tickle your romance bone. Happy reading!
And then there's a level 4 clearance required button that I have to click. This video is the first time where like clicking these sort of extra buttons feels like a little game where I have to notify you that I don't know what's gonna be coming up. Here we go. Addendum V1-1, SCP-076, and SCP-073. Okay, there seems to be some fanfiction style writing here, but I feel that in order for this to make sense to everyone, we need to know who SCP-76 and 73 are. So I'm gonna hand it over to Veeti to explain that for us.
076 and 073, also known as Abel and Cain, are 2 humanoid SCPs, which, as you might guess, are references / inspired by the biblical story from the Book of Genesis. To quickly summarize, 076, or Abel, is a fairly classical, superhuman, everything-killing SCP. SCP-076 consists of an indestructible tomb within which lies the body of Abel. This body then sometimes becomes active. Abel has the classic superhuman powers of speed, strength, and endurance, as well as the ability to summon really cool, edgy weapons made of darkness. His personality is described in the entry as the perfect sociopath, with no regards for humans except for in regards to those who he sees as superior, or basically those who have earned his respect. 073, or Cain, is a humanoid with some anomalous metallic parts, such as his arms, legs, and spine. Like in the biblical story, plant life around him dies at a rapid rate, and any damage done to him is instead applied to the attacker. His personality is described as, quote, generally polite and genial to all those who speak to it, though it has been described as being cold and somewhat mechanical in its speech, unquote. Both of them don't really like talking about the other. Cain kind of dismissing the opportunity to talk about Abel, and Abel becoming enraged at the mention of Cain. In the looks department, both of them are described as young adult Middle Eastern men. All in all, it's a pretty basic pairing as far as Monsterfucker Yaoi is concerned. Anyway, take it away, Jeff.
The halls of Site 17 High School go quiet as a tall, muscular boy walks out of detention. The more timid of the students run, while the rest avoid his terrifying gaze. A flurry of teachers rush out to try and get him back into detention, but back off when he removes his shirt to reveal his glistening, rippling muscles. Across the hallway, another equally as tall and muscular but kinder looking boy looks on in awe. "Who's that guy?" he says, still staring at the boy's perfect 12-pack. The girl next to him responds in a hushed yet excited tone. "That's Abel. He's the teen heartthrob of the whole school. He's such a bad boy that we are all too scared to ask him out, though. Apparently, he beats up any teacher who keeps him in detention." The boy merely nods, still mesmerized by Abel's throbbing biceps. He slowly walks towards Abel, causing the teen bad boy to turn toward him.
"Why, who might this brave soul be? Are you gonna try to contain me as well?"
Abel mocks, sauntering closer.
"Why, I don't think I've seen you around here. You new?"
Yeah, I'm Cain. Nice to meet you, sir,"
stutters the boy, practically salivating at the thought of Abel's creamy hamstrings.
"I just, moved here from Site 19 High School."
"Well, aren't you just a treat? Now that I'm looking at you, you look a bit like me."
Abel straightens up and glares at Cain.
"I'm gonna have to punish you for that."
The silence in the room deepens as Abel grabs Cain and folds him over his knee, pulling down Cain's loose jeans and revealing his tight ass. Abel pulls his hand back and prepares to... Researchers note.
This is potentially the worst thing I have ever read. The colonoscopy scene went too far, and did it really require 203 pages? Never read this document without heavy amnestics.
Addendum V1.
2.
Addendum V1. 3. So this one is two of the same guy, and again, maybe Veeti, you could fill us in on who that is.
3856, also known as Foundation researcher Samuel Lloyd, or just Lloyd, is a pretty fun humanoid SCP. 3856's main idea is that researcher Lloyd will always be the last human to die within that universe that he exists in, and this applies across all the universes in which Lloyd exists. And there aren't really any loopholes like trying to kill Lloyd, because trying to kill him just makes the end of the universe happen sooner. Kind of a tangent, but this also makes Lloyd, or Lloyds, into a kind of human mega atom bomb. since if you inject him with a poison, you can effectively doom any universe you then send him into before the poison starts to act. Anyway, in the canon of this entry, this has led to the development of a network of communications across universes and the SCP foundations within those universes, and of course, some Lloyds might travel across those universes, which is where we get the premise for a little messy, self-cessed fanfiction Jeff is about to read.
Researcher Lloyd stared confusedly at the familiar-looking man standing before him. Who had let him in here? Lloyd was under the understanding that nothing dangerous was to be let into his cell, but this man, looked delectably dangerous to him. The man turns around, revealing a face not unlike his own, but with sunglasses.
Who are you?
The man with the sunglasses asked.
And where am I?
The man looks up at Researcher Lloyd.
Hey, you look somewhat familiar. And good.
What did you... Never mind. My name's Samuel Lloyd, but everyone just calls me Lloyd, or Researcher Lloyd. I'm an anomaly, so... Who let you in here?
I was messing with you. It's a bit I do every time. I'm also Samuel Lloyd, from another dimension in which we wear glasses. Most people call me Cool Lloyd for ease of communication. As for who let me in here, Nerd Lloyd did.
An equally hunky but slightly nerdier version of Samuel Lloyd with glasses walks through the door.
Hey, you know my designation is Glasses, Lloyd? You're just being a jerk, Daddy.
What the hell is going on here? Researcher Lloyd yelled, still confused as to the sudden influx of attractive men who were identical to him.
Why did you, sexy gentlemen, come here for me?
Cool Lloyd walked up to Researcher Lloyd, pulled his chin up for no reason other than dramatic effect, considering they were the exact same height.
We are gathering all of the attractive men in the universe. Only problem is, we are the most attractive men in the universe, so we are all going to run away together for a multi-dimensional party.
Researcher Lloyd was going to protest. After all, him leaving his universe put it in danger. As he was about to open his mouth, Cool Lloyd put his finger over Researcher Lloyd's lips, shushing him and signaling to Nerd/Glasses Lloyd, both of them disrobing. Researcher Lloyd watched as the two half-nude men began to dance and swing their Researcher's note. Did we break it?
And with that, I think we're done for today. At the end of this last entry, it says somehow more experiments were commissioned, and then you can click your way through to V1L3J experiment log, and when you do, you get like an actual honest to god like adult content warning, and it says here that it features sexual themes and language but does not depict sexual acts. And if you click onto it, there's like quite a long log here of, I guess, texts that this machine spit out. And listen, who are we at JVSCP to deny the audience what they want? So I'll just leave it at, if there's enough requests for this, I don't mind. I don't mind going through and reading this. I think it's kind of funny, and I'll take any opportunity to practice my visual novel anime boy voice that I can get. So yeah, let us know, and we'll dedicate an entire video to it if that's what you want. But with that, I think we're done for today. Thank you very much for watching. Extra huge thank you to our patrons and YouTube members. You can join them, you know, I don't know if you know this, but you're able to become one of them. And that is probably the best way to support the channel. Let me double check my notes here. Yeah, here we go on this blank page. Yes, it is the best way to support us. So hop on over to our Patreon or become a YouTube member to support us, because, I mean, the numbers don't lie. It's the best way to support us. And with that, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.